All right, so we're going to continue that talk about the Pythagorean Theorem. Remember, what is the Pythagorean Theorem? Well, that is our good old a squared plus b squared equals c squared. How's it used? How's it used this time? Well, it will find a missing length for us. So two important facts when using this. Important fact number one is that C is the hypotenuse. We already talked about that. Across from the right angle to along the side. The other fact is that it must be a right triangle. If it is not a right triangle, well then guess what? You can't do the good old Pythagorean theorem. All right, so here we go. First step is find your hypotenuse. I like to mark it with a little C. There it is. So now I know I'm going to use, I have a right triangle, so I'm going to use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. A and b, we already talked about this. Does it matter which one it is? No. As long as it's not your hypotenuse, you're good. So I could do 5 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared, which is going to be x squared. So now I'm going to square both these. So now I don't really need that. 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. That's going to equal x squared. Add these two together next. That's 169 equals x squared. How do I solve for an x squared? Well, if I look at my calculator over here, you see there's an x squared here. Well, the inverse of it is the square root. So I'm going to take the square root of this all to get x alone. The square root of 169 is 13. So I get that my hypotenuse is 13. All right, let's go to our next one. Round your answer to the nearest tenth. So here we go. Right angle, there's my C. So now I have 3 squared plus 3 squared equals x squared. 3 squared, 9, plus 9 equals x squared. 9 and 9 is 18 is x squared. I take the square root of both sides once again. Square root, square root. Let's go to my lovely calculator. Second, 18. And I get x equals. Find the length to the round to the nearest tenth. So if I round this to the nearest tenth, please tell me what my answer is. Nearest tenth is 1 decimal place. So I say, okay, 4.24. That 4 on the end tells me to stay. So this rounded nearest tenth, 4.2. All right, next one. Again, I find my C. What's my C this time? This time, my C is the 65. So let's see what happens. X squared plus 25 squared equals 65 squared. X squared is still x squared. 25 squared is 625. 65 squared is 4225. Now, how do I get this x squared alone? Well, first I'm going to subtract both sides by 625. Got to get that x squared alone. So I have x squared equals that minus 625. 3,600. Take the square root of both sides. X is 60. Now, it says round to the nearest tenth. Well, there's no decimals here, so 60 is fine. We do not need to round. Okay? So there, back to back are really the only two ways you can solve this problem. You're either going to have to square them, add them together, and then take the square root, like on the left, or you're going to have to square them, then subtract, and then take the square root. Okay? All right, so we got some problems here. So you're going to try these. Round each answer to the nearest tenth. So remember, that's like this one up there. 1 decimal point. Notice where your right angle is. Go ahead, tell me the answer to that one. Now do this one over here that I just circled. Tell me the answer to that. Again, rounding to the nearest tenth. Tell me the answer to this one. Again, rounding to the nearest tenth. And then this is the last one you'll do for now. Go ahead, do that one, and again, round to the nearest tenth. All right, so there's some Pythagorean Theorem practice for you. We'll come back together, go over a few problems, and then we will move on. All right.